take a little bit of an ending detour to talk about something which I alluded to earlier, which is that often when we are investing, we're talking about things at a higher level. We're not really keeping in mind the fact that there are real lives affected by what we do. And I'm going to show you a video and then bring up a guest, final guest, whose life has been affected by the company that we invest in, and affected in a very, very profound way. These are people who have what's called essential tremor. And you're seeing what their life was like before Insightec and after Insightec. We were fortunate enough to invest in Insightec a little over a year ago. I think we're about a year and a half into this investment. And this company is changing the world. I want to bring up Will Irwin, a Insightec patient, to tell his story.
Hi there, OurCrowd. John, thank you.
Thank you so much, please. So the story here is really interesting because you knew one of our partners, a guy named Jonathan Wiesen, Dr. Jonathan Wiesen, who's part of our medical team, and you had a conversation with him.
Well, it even goes back earlier than that. I read Startup Nation.
Okay.
And I mentioned it to Jonathan, and we got talking, and I asked him if he'd ever heard of a company called Insightec. And that started a lengthy conversation. And at that point, I had been to the neurosurgery department of my local hospital, and I was aware of it, and of Insightec, or of the process, focused ultrasound treatment. And they said, don't investigate it. It's too experimental. And with the encouragement of Jonathan, I did keep investigating it. It took a while, and because there aren't too many physicians using it yet in the United States.
And so it turns out that Jonathan sits next door to Maury Blumenfeld, who's probably in the audience here. Maury, are you here? Sitting right there. He's one of the founding group that really put this company together, longtime GE medical guy. And Maury says, do it. Put him in touch. And the next thing you know is you're getting treated.
Well, it took a while because insurance is just gradually beginning to pay for this procedure in the United States, and unfortunately it isn't as well publicized yet as I would like to see, but it's catching on, dramatically catching on.
And so, tell us, what was your life before like?
Well, that video was right on point. You know, I couldn't drink a cup of coffee. I couldn't tie my shoes. I couldn't do anything that required manual dexterity, and it was getting much worse as I aged. And I couldn't write a check to pay a bill. My wife absolutely loved that because she had control of my money. And but I finally identified a physician in Philadelphia whose lifelong dream is to treat Parkinson's patients, who was using your technology. And to date, I was his 47th patient. I was also the first one that was ever reimbursed by insurance that he'd ever treated.
This is an extraordinary story. We are so proud you came here to share it with us. We're going to hear more from you tomorrow together with Jonathan on the big stage, because we think it's an important story to share with our broader group. But really, I want to salute you for coming, for having the courage to do this. We are in love with this company. This company is changing so many areas now, both in terms of crossing the blood-brain barrier to treat glioblastomas, and there are videos about that, what they're doing with essential tremor. This is just cutting-edge stuff. It, by the way, is live on the site at the moment, funding on OurCrowd. We're doing a round together with the Koch brothers, who are already active investors together with us in the company. So thank you very much, Will, for being with us here on the Pre-Summit Show.